Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the flyest vlogger on the planet. I go by the name of Showtime the Czar. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a great, positive, productive day. You know me, got the hip-hop news and culture updates and everything like that for you guys today. But before we jump into all of that, you know you got to do something for your boy. See that subscribe button right there on your screen? Need you to click that, alright? Need you to click that, turn that bell icon on so each and every time one of my videos drop, you don't miss it, alright? Got a lot to talk about, so let's not waste no time. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to talk about, you know what it is, man. If you've been following me and listening to my vlogs all this time, you know how I feel about the Joe Budden Podcast. And well, it looks like it's the end of an era for the Joe Budden Podcast. Alright, so Joe Budden has fired Rory from the Joe Budden Podcast. And I'm not sure what's going on with Maul, but the last time Rory left the show, Maul was with him. So not sure how that's all going down, but there is audio of Joe Budden telling Rory that he is not welcome back and he's fired. Now, I would insert it, but I tried to play it on my Instagram page and they took it down, and I didn't know that there was a thing with audio as far as voices go. I know it was like a thing with music, but I didn't know that you couldn't play people's audio as far as like voices. So in order for me to not have YouTube take my video down, I'm going to just tell you about it. So you can go to my YouTube page or my Instagram page at Show the Czar, and if it's still up there, you guys can check it out. But here's what I want to say about this. It seems like this is deeper than just the Joe Budden Podcast, okay? Obviously, Joe Budden and Rory have some issues because the last time I talked about this, it seemed like they had patched things up. And you guys know I love and hate the Joe Budden Podcast just because of the guy it's named after, right? But for me, it just seems like it's deeper rooted. Like their friendship is in jeopardy. It ain't damn the podcast for right now, okay? It's they friendship. It's something going on with that, right? It's like it's men getting into them, and it seemed like they had worked it out, but they didn't work it out, obviously. Again, I'm not sure entirely what happened as far as why Joe Budden decided to call it quits. And it looks like he's already replaced him, because if I'm not mistaken, he started another podcast. Not sure if he's just going to call it the Joe Budden Podcast now, but he did start another podcast. And yeah, that's the end of the Joe Budden Podcast. Now, personally, I don't like that they've dismantled the Joe Budden Podcast, simply because I know that the Joe Budden Podcast is essential to hip-hop culture. You know, what they talk about, the voices that they have, the influence that they have on the culture was necessary. So for me, I don't like how they're dismantling. Like if it was just, okay, everybody's tired of doing it, okay, cool, that's one thing. But for it to be like their friendship is the reason why they can't continue to do the podcast, that's kind of whack. And then it's looking more like it's Joe Budden's fault. But I can't say whose fault it was. Everybody, like, Joe's blaming Rory, Rory's blaming Joe, Maul's blaming Joe. So, I don't know. I just know that from seeing the clips of Joe Budden and seeing videos of Joe Budden and how he acts as an individual, he looks like a hard person to work with. But he also looks like a fun person to work with on the same time. It's just kind of just what day you catch him on. So let me know how you guys feel about the Joe Budden Podcast breaking up in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Joe Budden as an individual, Rory, Maul, all of that good stuff in the comments below. Alright guys, on to the next subject here. Now, I've been seeing a lot of this guy and I'm not sure why. So TPain has just been popping up just everywhere as far as on social media. I seen somebody tweet the other day that TPain don't get the respect he deserves, which who the hell out here disrespecting TPain? Like, we all know TPain's a GOAT. But I seen this post right here that's on your screen, and this, as I was listening to TPain go into detail about Jay-Z possibly ending his career, or the rumor that Jay-Z ended his career, I was like, that never came across my mind that Jay-Z ended TPain's career with DOA. That never came, because even after Jay-Z made that, I feel like TPain put some records out that was banging, or it was records out at the time that DOA came out that was still banging. You know what I mean? So I don't know about that. I don't know who even said that T-Pain's career was ended by Jay-Z. Like, where did that narrative even come? I've never heard that one before. So when I was listening to this, I was just like, that's crazy. Also, when I seen the tweet about somebody saying T-Pain doesn't get the respect he deserves, in my brain, I'm like, T-Pain is the reason that a lot of these musicians don't sing that well, because he like brought the auto-tune back in order for guys to just be okay singers. Now, granted, T-Pain can actually sing now after Charlamagne embarrassed him, so he actually went and worked on his vocal skills. But who out here just not respected T-Pain? Like, if you guys are saying that these Generation Z guys or Generation X, whichever one it is, the young guys, people born in 2003, that's not, if you're saying those kids are not giving T-Pain his respects, well, duh, because they weren't there outside when T-Pain was popping. Like, T-Pain was started in what, 05? Them kids was 2. They didn't know nothing about no T-Pain. So I'm Sprung and I'm in Love with a Stripper and all the features he was running at that time. Like, if you had a T-Pain feature, you had a hit song at the time. So it's just like, who disrespected T-Pain? Those kids ain't gonna know nothing about that. They was too young to understand how influential T-Pain was to the culture. And still to this day, I feel like T-Pain has influenced the culture because a lot of singers, quote unquote, are getting away with not being able to sing because they can just auto-tune it and make themselves sound good. So I don't know where that narrative came from, but to me, I always give T-Pain his flowers, man, because he's dope, super dope, never will not be dope. You know what I'm saying? He started a lot of things that people do in music today. So to me, I don't know where the T-Pain disrespect is coming from, or the narrative that T-Pain is trash. I don't know where all that's coming from, but I just wanted to put my, get my thoughts and opinions on that. But let me know how you guys feel about this whole T-Pain slander. If it's slander, the disrespect to T-Pain, Jay-Z saying that, or Jay-Z, the rumor that Jay-Z ended T-Pain's career. Let me know how you feel about all of that in the comments below. All right, guys, and the last thing I want to discuss with you guys today before I get up out of here. So here we are once again talking about reboots. Now, Paramount Plus has announced that they will reboot the game on Paramount Plus. Now, my thing with reboots is this. It's hard to duplicate feelings. So, when the game first started, it's like the energy, the vibe, how that show was at that time frame, fans are going to expect that same type of vibe and energy when watching this show, because it's already been captured and like bottled up. So people, when they watch the show, they have an expectation. It's hard to remove that expectation when it's already out there in the world that this is what this is supposed to look like, if that makes any sense to anybody. So here's the thing. They can't reboot Martin because Martin is already a classic. They can't reboot Fresh Prince because they're already classics. Like, it's hard. It's going to be hard to give people that same energy, vibe, freshness, newness that show brought when it first came out, because we've already seen it. You know what I mean? So that's my whole thing with the reboot. However, some of them do sound dope. So I personally I want to see how they can do it, but I would personally like to see a spin-off or a variation of said TV show. The reboot thing is just tough. It's just tough, man, because it's hard to duplicate that energy that was there when the show first started, right? Like, when Blackish finishes, they can't reboot Blackish, because what Blackish did in its time frame, you're not going to be able to do that 20, 30 years from now. It's going to be a whole new ball game. Just like any other hit black sitcom, or any sitcom for that matter, it's hard to capture that again and give it to a brand new audience. especially seeing as how times have changed now, where it's a much more sensitive world we live in. The stuff that they was getting away with back then, they ain't getting away with it now. So that's just my whole thing when it comes to reboots. But let me know how you guys feel about this reboot of the game. Do we need it? Keep it? Just delete it? How you feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And until next time, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.